Hi guys, so little update. Just want to have a look at the power density coming from this halogen light here, which is a low energy 35 watt Arcadia halogen bulb. I've set, because the temperatures in here, because we've had a warm spell naturally outside, it has increased the room temperature, which in effect has also increased the temperature inside the terrarium. So the temperatures were getting pretty warm in there, into the 30s, yeah, high 30s. So I reduced the dial on the thermostat down to 50 Celsius, which has brought those temperatures down a little bit. Mr. Jinx, though, is just, active as ever. Digging, look, he's been digging, loves it in that cave. So he pretty much spends most of the day hiding in there, and then he'll come out at night. So this here is an RSM solar power meter. Okay, so it basically, those numbers tell us how much infrared is in there. Okay, and infrared is essential um, for reptiles, for their well-being. Okay, so we want to be providing infrared. We also want to be providing UVB and visible light. And if we look at the lighting setup, it's overhead. And if we look outside, our light is from the sun, which is overhead. It's in the sky. Yeah. So there is no heat source from underneath. So like heat mats, heat ceramic heat emitters, although those aren't placed underneath. There's no deep heat projectors. It's just everything is overhead. Okay. Do apologise for the flickering. It is a bit annoying that. Okay, so I'm going to place this. Now we want to be aiming for around 200 to 300 watts per meter squared. So I'm placing this now towards the light, the halogen. And we can see those figures are within that range approx. So there's no worries there. That's all good. Why do we want to be aiming for the 200 to 300 watts per square meter mark? It's just based on evidence and research and safekeeping. If you are on the Advancing Herpetological Husbandry group on Facebook, or the Reptile Lighting group, there is an article, or a couple of articles on there by Roman Murin, who goes into a lot more detail and has done the kind of workings out as to why we need that figure of 200 to 300 watts per square meter. So that article is on those Facebook groups. I think it's called Basking and Infrared or something like that. But it's if you go on the files, it'll be on there. Okay, and it goes into detail as to why we want to be aiming for that number. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see now, just having this out here, there's low infrared because I haven't got any of the lights on in the room. So that's just probably picking up some natural light coming through the window and the lighting from this setup. Okay. So if I place that closer, obviously, let's just place it under the UVB. So I place it under the UVB. It's not giving a lot of infrared, but that's normal. The Jungle Dawn. A little bit of infrared coming from there. So those numbers are creeping up a little bit. The LED plant grow light. There's a little bit, look at all these bits falling out here. My cardboard shelf is working. Anyway, yeah, so I don't think I need to be worrying too much over the... Yeah, I think that's pretty fine. Not sure exactly how much distance I've placed it, but let's say, I don't know, 20 centimeters. That's the sort of basking spot. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about lighting. I'm still learning. It's very technical, so I'm still kind of learning. So, like I was saying before, we shouldn't have a need really to be using non-light emitting heating equipment, and we need to flip our way of thinking in terms of like how we heat our enclosures, or the heat we should be providing. We need to change those words around. We need to swap heat to light. Okay, we need to be concentrating on how we can provide full spectrum lighting. Full spectrum as in covering all the essential wavelengths of light which reptiles use, which optimizes their health. So the wavelengths I'm on about is the IRA, IRB and IRC, UVB, and visible light. Okay, might be a bit of a UVA, but I'm not very clued up on that. But ultraviolet, let's generalize ultraviolet. So like this UVB here. Okay, that synthesizes vitamin D3 through the radiation. Yeah. Because this is a leopard gecko, they're crepuscular, kind of shade-dwelling species. So the 7% UVB I have here is sufficient for their requirements, because they don't need that much. Even if they have, you know, cryptid basking with just a little bit of their tail out, can be enough for what they need in order to get that vitamin D3 through the UVB. Okay, so I'm just going to measure the UVB. So that is ample. Okay, 0.2. Bearing in mind that this tube has been in place now for about 2 years. I've been using it, yeah, and it's still producing ample UVB. So there's no need to replace the tube yet. I do have a spare available. This is a spare one I have. But I even bought that. I think it was in September last year when I bought this. So, you know, thinking, oh, I might need to replace it. It's been sort of over 12 months now. Might need replacing, but no, it's still got the old one and it's still producing enough. How do I know that? Well, if I look at the Ferguson chart, shade method, crested gecko, leopard gecko, zone 1. Okay, so we're looking at the top green bit here. Okay, 0 to 0.7 UVI, and that's kind of what we're getting here. Okay, so that is okay. All right, Perfect. The Jungle Dawns and LED provide... Oh, that flickering is a nuisance. Right, hold it like that. That's better. Right, so the Jungle Dawns and LED provide visible light, and they may give off a little bit of infrared as well. Not as much in comparison to the halogen basking. So yeah, if we think, like I have mentioned this in a previous video when I did a winter video. So why do we get seasons? Well, it's because of the angle of the Earth and how it tilts. It tilts at a slight sort of angle. And that is why we get day and night, because it, and seasons. So as spring and summer get lighter and warmer, that's because the Earth is tilting towards the sun in the northern hemisphere, but in the southern hemisphere it'll be tilting away from the sun. Yeah. So let me just what can I use to kind of give an example? It's not the best, guys, but imagine this is the Earth, okay? Ideally I need something round. Anyway, imagine this Earth is spinning, okay? So it's spinning round. And imagine that dehumidifier there is the sun, okay? So this Earth goes around, orbits around the sun, yeah, in a big white circle, yeah. And one full orbit is one full year. And as it orbits, it tilts at a slight angle, yeah. So if we turn it at a slight angle that way, away from the sun, yeah, that means the top part of the watering can, so the top part of the Earth, the northern hemisphere, is in winter mode because it's tilting away from the sun. Whereas on the bottom of the watering can, or bottom of the Earth, southern hemisphere, that is tilting towards the sun. So that is why we get opposite seasons. So like the UK gets opposite seasons to, say, Australia and New Zealand, right? So when it's summer in the UK, it's winter in Australia. Yeah. And then also the Earth spins. So each spin is a day. And when it spins towards the sun, that's when we get our daylight. When it spins away from the sun, nighttime. Yeah. So that's kind of the reasons why we get sort of daylight and seasons. And life on Earth basically is directly influenced by the radiation from that sunlight, from the power of the sun. Yeah. So in captivity, we want to kind of be replicating that. And the only way we can do that really is through technology and through lighting. Okay. So heat mats and ceramic heat emitters and deep heat projectors, they give off some IR, infrared radiation. The deep heat projector gives off some wavelengths of IRA and IRB and IRC. The ceramic heat emitters and heat mats are more IRB and IRC. Now the IRA element of infrared penetrates through the dermis of the skin, okay, which is needed for like bone development, well-being, all the kind of things. Again, there's an article by Roman Murin and Francis Baines, so just reach out for those on the Reptile Lighting Facebook groups for more info. This is just kind of my general interpretation of it all, really. So yeah, that is basically why we should be going for lighting and looking at how we can improve our lighting, you know, the spectrum of light. Yeah. Now, when we talk about plants, plants in the wild obviously utilize the sun's energy in order to grow. Okay. And in terrariums, we want to be aiming for grow lights which are kind of close to daylight color temperature. Okay. Oh, look who's popping out. Ha! Hello, Mr. Jinx. So, so plants ideally need grow light color temperature of around 6,000 Kelvin. Okay. Because around that figure sort of mimics natural daylight, yeah, or a cloudy day. Okay. So in order for the plants to kind of do their best in the terrarium, so long as the soil and everything is sufficient for their needs, they also need full spectrum light. So there we go. A little bit of a lecture on lighting, and I hope that does help you improve your husbandry and feed into your own research. Okay, guys? Right, over and out.